Welcome to the Nerd Pow Wow. Follow us on YouTube where we upload new videos every Friday, or check us out on your favorite podcast platform. We're also live on Surf the Host every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Spoiler warning, we do deep dives on characters, storylines, and theory crafting. With that said, we're going to be talking about some creative games. Smooth move there, moving the crossbows and catapults that was overlaid on top of everything for the intro.
It's our voices with your imagination. Our theories take us down endless rabbit holes. We give our fellow nerds something to consider at the gaming table. Follow us as the Nerd Pow Wow.
We got a few creative games just from our childhood, we're just, it's the Nerd Pow Wow. We talk about all things nerdy, and man, we got Legos, we got creepy crawlers, we got light bright, we got all sorts of stuff to talk about. We're also going to touch base a little bit on the Bricks and Minifigs controversy surrounding Reckless Ben. So exciting episode coming up here. So I think, man, we've all used a lot of these creative toys. I remember making Hot Wheels tracks through my bedroom and down the stairs. I remember stuffing crayons in my creepy crawlers maker when I ran out of the goo.
How'd that work for you?
It worked okay, actually. It worked okay. Yeah. Yep. Melted crayons. Turns out that works out. It was hard to get them out of there, but I tried using, how the blister packs with like action figures and all that, how you would have kind of a molding of that character. I tried sticking one of those in the creepy crawlers maker, and it like burnt the hell. had to clean up an awful mess, but that taught me that I could still do that. I just had to use the heater in my room, and so when the heater would start blowing hot air, I'd have all the crayons set up, and they would just kind of melt and make these amalgamistic little figurines of crayon. What's up, Vargo? What about you guys?
I just think some of the toys now, there's so many safety features on them. But think of the toys back when we were kids. Like, you were able to just set plastic on fire. Or melt it anyways.
You're going to cook with a literal fucking light bulb.
There was something back in the 19-teens that I looked at. I couldn't find a name for it. But basically, it was a light from a candle. And you put this paper up next to this light on the candle, and it would reflect onto the wall or another piece of paper. Then you can trace it. Just think of how many pieces of paper you burnt up by putting it next to the candle.
Well, do you guys know what Shrinky Dinks were?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah. So like these little plastic stickers basically, and stick them all over an image that they had, and then you put them in the oven. It's just plastic little things, and they would just shrink and all make the image. They were crazy. I mean, they were literally putting plastic in the oven.
Oh my gosh.
They're telling 5-6-year-olds it's okay to use the oven, guys.
Yeah, no big deal.
Draw on them, color them, all kinds of stuff, and then they would just shrink into bacon there in the oven.
We weren't worried about the chemicals in our plastic back then.
No.
We're over there melting it in the oven. That's great.
Yeah, it was not our best moment.
One of the things you wanted to talk about were Tinker Toys. And I remember in the 80s and 90s when I used to play with them, they're wooden pieces with wooden sticks on them. And now I guess they're still around, but they're made of plastic now. It's supposed to last longer. But I remember, my Tinker Toys had wood. And I think the same goes with Lincoln Logs. Obviously, they're all made out of wood except for the roofs were plastic.
Oh, I love the Lincoln Logs. Those are great.
Oh, me too. I still have my Lincoln Logs.
You do? My gosh.
I mean, they're in a tote in the loft in the shed, but not like I've seen them in a while, but I know where they're at.
There you go.
I think that these kind of toys are what makes me love building survival games so much.
I never made that connection, but you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh, Pogs. Yeah. Oh, Pogs. Oh, Pogs.
Pogs were great too.
But yeah, that's the whole thing. I just loved building from Legos. We also had those off-brand Legos that didn't work with, like, it was called Mega Blocks.
Yeah.
They were really different, and all kinds of different ones. And that's why I love just keep building those kind of things.
Digital Legos.
You mentioned those, how much you love those Hot Wheel tracks. I also use a ton of those tracks for the ultimate creation machine is I would try to make like Rube Goldberg mechanisms with those. They're great for that. Marbles roll down. They were great connector pieces for any kind. I would build things like that. I loved everything like Mousetrap. Remember the game Mousetrap, where you're basically it's basically a small Rube Goldberg machine. That's what it was. So that inspired me, and I would make those things all over a room, like all to like move one thing so that it would like turn on a light switch or some weird shit, anything, just some kind of complex thing. Dominoes all over the place. I loved it. It was great.
To call what I made Rube Goldberg machines would be way too generous. Usually it surrounded a Hot Wheels car crashing into different action figures to see how many I could knock down.
That's all I did with that.
Yep. Oh, good
Get
stuff.
off the track.
Oh no, Skeletor!
And I do have to give anyone that does dominoes that is incredible amount of patience to put them, just stack them.
Yeah, I couldn't do just dominoes, but dominoes as part of a mechanism, as part of a a bigger piece of thing happening. They were great in between things, but I wouldn't. Those ones who do great, like they're doing these giant designs, or what do they call those? I can't think of the name. A lot of people get them mandalas. They did just like giant mandala in dominoes. That's insane. No,
yeah,
that's too tedious. That kind of shit. That'll have me having some kind of ADHD breakdown or something.
I was too much of an asshole for my brother to play with dominoes, so just out of spite, I wasn't able to play with dominoes either. We would just knock him over, just passively see the other just jump really hard on the floor. Got him.
Oh, that's rage-inducing.
Yeah,
rage-inducing.
Yep. No, we knew our lesson. Make sure it's sturdy. Connects, I had a lot of fun with those.
Vargo says Slinky's going down the stairs.
Slinkies were fun.
Oh, Slinkies were a lot of fun.
Slinkies are another one that is actually a great addition to a Rube Goldberg machine. They work really well for when you want something to just touch something, especially like I had it one. I connected a ball. The ball fell in a little screen that I put in the bottom of the Slinky, and it would hit something several times, so that it wouldn't break the first time. We'd have to hit a couple times to break. So you needed to get that right measurement there to bounce. I had way too much fun with those kind of things.
John,
My mom hated it.
I was gonna say I'd hate to be your mom. I can imagine her just coming home from work, and there's little John, 8 years old, bulb in my imagination, over here setting up a Rube Goldberg machine to shoot a net at her when she opens the door and drop a bucket of paint on top of her head.
It was more like her nice clean house had this contraption going down the basement, leading all the way to the light switch, blocking the light switch from when she was trying to come home from work and get to the light switch. There's just this contraption in the way.
Stepping over toys.
Yeah.
Trying not to die going down the steps. That's great. Yeah. Oh, man.
But I did like it. It was fun. I don't even know if I have the patience for that kind of stuff anymore, but I loved it then.
No. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Connects, I used to like making stuff with Connects. I'd make the thing that it suggested to make once, and then I'd just throw stuff together myself. Didn't always work the way I wanted it to, but it's a lot of fun. Connects were great.
Oh,
yeah. That bubble. Little vehicles. No, this is Titus.
Oh, Titus. Hi, buddy.
Titus. I don't think I've ever made like a box of Legos or Connects or anything like that. I don't think I've ever made what they were designed to be in my life. Seriously, I don't think
sometimes.
Yeah,
the Legos I do.
Haven't even so the Star Wars models you would buy like the original. Matter of fact, I have a couple of them sitting around here somewhere. But the Star Wars models, even then we would make our own ships, our own walkers, our own types of things. We just put all the pieces in a box and make these custom ships and custom attack walkers and all kinds of neat things. Like you got to see a TIE fighter with ATST legs on the side of it with a nice little port gun under the bottom. Had a neat look. It was kind of it's kind of cool stuff.
Customizations that would make the Emperor blush. The Empire blush. Yeah. For sure.
It was a lot of fun. I don't know what I did with those models. They were sitting here somewhere.
I'd say so Vargo says that he inherited a lot of his older brother's toys. What's a couple of the toys that you inherited? I'd like to see because I mean Light Bright's still around.
Yeah.
And I guess Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs are still around, but they're not the same. They're not totally the same.
They're definitely not the same.
I think
No.
Light Bright's exactly the same. Maybe
Wouldn't
different
surprise me, although
packaging.
here's a hard lesson to learn. Light Bright, be very careful what size ball you put in it.
Oh,
Does it catch on fire too?
Oh yeah, well it melted and twisted the screen.
Oh,
Well,
no.
Evil Knievel Windups were dead. I would have loved that as a kid. I was an Evil Knievel fan for days.
did you guys ever get those Radio Shack kits where it's like program your own electronic circuits?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My my Aunt Colleen would get me those, and I would put death wire. I would just get a lamp and cut the wire, and then just start hooking 120 volts up to stuff. Just popping LEDs and whatever's there. I can smell the fish oil in those burning capacitors to this day.
Yeah, you blow one of those up quick.
Oh,
My
yeah.
dad worked at Radio Shack, and I never did that.
What?
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
no. Yep.
No, I feel like I missed out.
Yeah. They were fun. They were I made a couple of the things, but all the very basic stuff when I was a kid. But when I went to school, I ended up building an AM/FM radio. So out of a programmable logic circuit kit thing. That was a fun little project they had us do at school. But yeah,
Well, our town's got a Radio Shack. Now I want to do it.
you're gonna have to.
There's still a Radio Shack there?
There's a Radio Shack in the mall.
Wow.
I mean, there's not much in our mall, but there's a Radio Shack in there.
Damn.
Honestly, those little toys, they teach you electric theory really well.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
they're applicable to an adult too. I think they're good.
They're gonna be.
They're gonna be.
They're gonna be.
You guys talked about crossbows and catapults, and I had to search up this image quick before we started. Can you guys tell me more about that? Game looks fun.
It basically, it was kind of just like your kit, and it's basically if you want to build it the way you want to build it, but you make different structures, castles, and there's actually catapults with it with rubber bands, and you shoot these rocks across. It's kind of like a game you shoot at each other. But the fun thing about
That's
these
great.
rubber bands is they could shoot across the room. They were that strong.
I can remember toys like action figure toys that would have launchers on them. And those launchers, I mean, they had some velocity. They would take out, you make a little card house or something, you can go right through there, but people were too worried about
It was
little Tommy getting shot in the eye or something now. But
I don't know if you'll remember this, Wayne, but back when they had the Aliens toys, Aliens, that franchise put out all these different, toys because they wanted to make a different alien for every, circumstance or whatever, right? Well, we had the Aliens toys when we were kids. My mom, very Christian as far as, demonic possession and all that stuff. Those themes would come up every now and again, right? Well, my mom didn't like those toys in the first place, but kind of on your point, John, where you're talking about those toys with projectiles, there was like a crab-looking alien that had a shooter in its chest. And I remember the one night my mom was like, "Get out of here!" And I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" I rushed downstairs, and she's like, "It shot at me!" And one of the little alien chest busters, I guess, shot across the bed or whatever, and hit her, and she was just freaked out by those toys.
That's hilarious.
I think she ended up making us get rid of all of them, but I think we hid them instead.
that reminded me of that little story joke. That guy said something like, the wife asks him why he always keeps the gun in the kitchen. And his answer was, "Fucking Decepticons." She laughed. I laughed. The toaster laughed. I shot the toaster. It was a good day.
That's great.
It's so dumb, but that was hilarious.
So Fargo had to hop off and get to work, but he left me with that. Do you remember that freaking waterful ring toss?
Oh, those
No.
ring tosses. I remember those.
My grandfather was good for those games. He had a slew of those.
I
Maneuver it in
hated
some
them.
fashion.
What was that Quonset hut that had all those bubblers too that would like spin the little wheels or whatever? I mean, those were for people, on extracurricular medications, but they were always fun as a kid to look at.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that they were like the 70s versions of fidget spinners.
yeah, really.
The kids
They were.
something to like manipulate. So,
I bet you'd never guess this, but we had a lot of those around the house when I was a kid. My dad loved those things. He also loved Cheech and Chong.
I
So
love me
you
Cheech and Chong.
you asked about Crossbow and Catapult. A couple of historical facts. I guess it was released in 1983 by Lakeside Games. And if you want to kind of compare it to a today game, think of Angry Birds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very obviously Angry Birds is electronic, but I guess that would be what
Yeah,
you
the
compare it to
philosophy
it
is
if
the
it came
same.
out today.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Fun
all of
little
those things. Like
trebuchet games.
anything you could create with, I was just there for it. Even today, somebody I walk into someone's house and they have one of those giant Rubbermaid bins of Legos. I'm there for days.
Yeah, let's have
I'll
some
pour them
fun.
out and sit on the floor and just go.
Oh yeah.
Go.
Now I like the Etch a Sketch too. That was one I got into a lot. I got decent at it, but that's a skill that you lose over time very easily. But
Oh yeah.
and there's no proof that I was any good or wasn't any good, so you can't say one way or the other.
That's right. Because you
Yep.
gone.
Yep.
Remember Silly Putty? Where you
Oh,
could put it on a comic book strip and it would take off the image.
I was mesmerized by that. I loved that so much. It was my favorite
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I'd never put it in a comic book because I'm not a heathen, but I would
Newspapers.
do a newspaper.
I was
comic,
thinking of a newspaper comic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it just made me cringe. Like, oh,
Oh yeah, newspaper comic.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I got Garfield. Yay! Then you get to stretch him a little bit and see what they look like if they were different body shapes. Good stuff.
Yeah, we had neat
Aw.
toys. Especially when you had like that, just analog. Just everything's so analog, and it had neat.
Mhm.
Yes.
Things you could do with them that I don't know. The being able to put it in your hands and manipulate it is so much more rewarding, and I think it's more educational too.
Yeah,
So, it's just-
manipulating your environment in real life feels a lot better than doing it digitally for sure. I
Yeah.
think it's also better for your mental health. I think that's something I think kids miss out nowadays. Not having as much of those outlets, and I'm sure there's a lot of parents that do keep their kid off the tablet, but for everyone that does, there's another that doesn't, right? So
Yeah, there's a thing that they measure the effectiveness of education in every generation that has increased until this current education system. It has actually decreased for the first time in recorded educational history, and it directly correlates with the introduction to fully getting away with books and going to digital learning.
Oh yeah.
100% coordinates with that. Now you've just got a device that is assisting you with everything instead of any actual troubleshooting.
I can see even with COVID too, like that would also kind of make sense too, where a lot of learning was stunted during that period in time.
Yeah. I just don't think people troubleshoot anymore. I mean,
Right.
I speak to a lot of people that are now adults. We're not talking about children. We're talking about adults that cannot get to somewhere they go every day without a GPS.
Oh goodness, yes.
I mean, that's madness to me. But it's commonplace now. I'm the one that's odd because thinking that's weird. That's what everybody does now. Follow the little blue line to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happens when you don't have a little blue line?
Yeah.
You know.
That's something I take for granted in myself, and actually I think games made me a little better with it, is my spatial reasoning skills and knowing where I am at in relation to something else like in the world or whatever, right? Like we were on vacation the one time, we had went from point A to point B once and then went back to the place that we were staying, and we get in the car and Laura's like, "Oh, aren't you going to put the address in the GPS?" I'm like, "No,
I got it.
I know where it's at. I know how to get there."
Yeah.
And she's like, "And you're going to be able to get back to the place?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not a problem." But it's not something everybody has for sure.
Yeah. I can definitely get to, like, if I've been somewhere, I can definitely get back.
It's really weird for me is there are, for the most part, I am like you. I can just be there once and go back and forth. But there are some locations I just can't get it. It's like I need the GPS. I've been there like 5, 6, 7 times, and like I need the GPS each time. It's just like something about that location. My brain can't fathom how to get there. And I don't know what that
I
is.
do know what you're saying. I have this, like, you guys aren't from Mentor, but in Mentor, there's 100 roads that go up to Mentor Avenue. And then on Manor Avenue is just like a lot of our primary shopping, you know, the mall and
Yeah.
everything else. So when I come up to Manor Avenue, there are some things like take Heinen's for instance. When I hit Manor Avenue, I'm like, say I'm taking Hopkins up. I'm like, is it right or left? Is it right or left? I can never like get that because I come out onto Manor Avenue in so many different places. It's almost like I don't remember which portal I'm entering the room in and the orientation of that one gets me a bit. So I could definitely understand what you're saying. Like I'm like I don't. It kind of kills me, kind of galls me because I know where some things are. Oh,
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
mall. I could come out to Manor Avenue from any road and tell you where the mall was. I can come out to Manor Avenue in any way, shape, or form and tell you where Lowe's is. But a lot of those places in between, not so much.
It's my wife's mom's house. For the longest time, I needed a GPS to get there. Like once you pass Cleveland, it's like my brain goes, ugh. I can't figure out how to
There's a
get
lot
there.
of guys that forget how to get to their mother-in-law's house. I think there's
Well, yeah.
probably-
So there is like a little block. Like, no.
Well, sometimes highways can be a little bit confusing too. I get that, especially if you like went with the GPS route and you just were okay, next exit, and you're like doing other things, listening to GPS. I think local driving's a lot easier for me to navigate through than
Mhm.
like highway driving and what. The one thing, as good as I am with knowing like where I'm at in relation to everything else, I don't always know what my destination is because there's like a 1 out of 10 chance that I'm gonna keep taking the path that gets me to work before after I pass my exit. I'm like, oh wait, I'm not going to work. Shit.
Yeah.
I have taken been on the way to a baseball game with a kid and been like, oh, I'm taking you to work. Sorry.
Yep.
I'm on autopilot.
100%. Yep.
Oh, easily. You just zone out. And you're like, where are you going? Oh, crap.
Yeah. I like when you're with somebody who knows damn well that you're not supposed to be going the way you are.
And they just let you do it.
And they're like, I'm like, holy shit, I'm going the wrong way. And they're like, I was wondering where you were going. I'm like, could you speak? Can you maybe ask me? What the fuck? Just let me go on.
Yeah.
Wonder how far he's going to get this time. Yeah, thanks. Got a little betting pool going on with their friends on the phone.
At least in Ohio, there's like 30 different ways to get from point A to point B. In Pennsylvania, I can't even pretend that like, oh, I'm just going a different way. No, I'm on a one-way road. There's no feasible path to get where I'm going with the direction I just turned. Flip around.
It's funny you mentioned that where my aunt has her camper in Lock Haven. If they could go through the mountain, it would take them about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But they can't, so it takes them 4 hours.
Yep.
It's that much of a difference to go around the mountain to get to Lock Haven.
Yep.
That's
see that a lot here,
crazy.
like out in Concord and stuff like that. I can see on the GPS that I'm going to be going back past where I'm currently at. I just have to do this giant loop because I have to go around, some kind of obstacle.
Uh-huh.
It's annoying.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's crazy with that. The mountains, they don't have too many roads through here, so you have the major roads, but it's not like the grid that you have in Ohio where everything's nice and flat. And so I'm looking forward to that when I move back to Ohio.
There you go.
When you live in a design city like Columbus, I lived in Columbus for a long time. It wasn't like a settlement that grew. It was a design city. So it's so this road is one way, this way, or east west, and the next one's the opposite, and they alternate all the way down.
Right.
I think it's streets are north south and avenues are east west. So if you're on, you're traveling one of two directions if you're on a street versus an avenue, which is wonderful. There's that kind of stuff is nice. People get a little confused at first because they're not used to it being that organized. But they're like, I hate one-way streets. I'm like, why? They're like, well, you can go one way. I'm like, no, just cut over and come back to the next street. It's no different than having just a median with houses on it. That's how you just have to think about it. It's the same thing. You have two different lanes. There's just houses in between the lanes, or some kind of structure in between the lanes.
We have an area called Confusion Corner where it is all these roads just intersecting in downtown Williamsport. There's like 3 stop signs and you don't know who has one. It is a terrible, terrible intersection. I'm going to throw it up on the.
We call that the figure 8.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish it made as much sense as a figure 8. No, it's just
Oh, you're gonna love coming to Ohio because we love roundabouts.
Oh, I love
Absolutely.
roundabouts. They're my favorite.
Oh, I hate roundabouts. Deadly passion.
Yeah,
I
Confusion
don't
Corner,
get
freaking Rural Avenue goes into Hepburn, goes into Market, Middle Street, North Side and South Side Drive are going to each other. You have Brandon Street, which doesn't stop when you take a right, but stops when you take a left, and then Market just goes right into it. You like have to merge. You get to Middle Drive, and it's like, yeah, in the middle of fucking nowhere because there's just asphalt everywhere, and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I hate shit like that. In roundabouts, I don't understand the point. I'm like, I don't understand the value. Like,
They're quicker and safer than stop signs.
I don't know.
That's
about
what they
that.
say.
Yes, so
Yeah,
there are
but
more
like
accidents
traffic
in
is
roundabouts,
emergency.
but they're low speed and they're all going the same way. So you have a little bit more collision rate with roundabouts, but the injuries are a lot less because you're approaching it, going around it
Yeah.
versus somebody running a stop sign and just T-boning somebody.
I just go
It's
straight
the people
through.
that don't understand the yield sign.
True.
Yeah, I hate. Like I want to go straight. I just want to go straight, and I have to go all the way over here, merge into traffic. It reminds me of National Lampoon's Vacation. It's like Big Ben, kids, going around. Hey, Big Ben, kids, keep going around the fucking loop.
We have a set of 3 roundabouts that connect in downtown Williamsport, and Laura will be in the car with me, and she hates them. But every once in a while I go the wrong direction, so I have to go the roundabout way. And so I'm going through there, and I have to go through all 3 roundabouts to get back on the highway.
Oh,
And if Laura says anything about the roundabout, I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And what I'll do is I'll go to the 3rd roundabout, and I'll just stay on it, and then feed myself back through the roundabouts.
Oh.
Stop it, John! I'm getting sick. I'm a real asshole. I need to be nicer to her. She's such a nice woman.
Oh, you just like roundabouts, so you'll fit in right in Ohio.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be. I get up to one, and she's like, "John, look, a roundabout, your favorite." And I'm like, "It is! Yay, roundabout! Let's go!"
Oh.
Bobby
Feel
Bones,
like-
thank you for the follow.
Hey, Bobby Bones.
We're talking about
Bobby
some
Bones.
retro games. We're talking about roundabouts right now. Traffic. You're
Yeah.
the favorite thing for people to talk about on a podcast. My gosh.
I mean, the point is to talk about each of those things on the screen, but somehow we got the roundabouts.
Well,
we made them in the Matchbox ramps.
true. We, leave it to us to have a roundabout conversation.
There you go.
We should have called the nerd squirrel, because that's what we do. We just squirrel onto different topics.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah, we do.
Frequently.
So I guess let's talk about this Reckless Ben situation.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
So we have a couple key figures here. We have a consignment shop that's run under the Bricks and Minifigs. What is it? A franchise. We have the owners of Bricks and Minifigs. We have a YouTuber called Reckless Ben, and then we have Brian and his 83-year-old father. So Brian's 83-year-old father spent a decade building an incredible Lego Star Wars collection, valued of $200,000. And over that time, they needed some money or whatnot, so they had a consignment deal with Bricks and Minifigs, which Bricks and Minifigs, they advertised it on their Facebook. They're very well aware of this consignment that their store had. Well, the owners of that consignment shop, or that not consignment shop, that Bricks and Minifig store, they basically said, like, hey, we're gonna have to go out of business here. We're gonna sell the business. Well, Bricks and Minifigs corporate came in like a day or 2 later, and they basically told the owners, hey, you're in violation of the agreement or whatever, and we're going to default on the building. We're taking everything. They said, hey, we have this stuff on consignment. How are we going to pay these people back? And they're like, look, we understand. Let us worry about that. We'll take inventory. And so they pushed the owners out of the building, those franchise owners out of the building. They took all the stock that was in the building, and that part was history. Well, when Brian went to collect his grandfather's collection or any funds of that, Bricks and Minifigs basically said, hey, you guys are going to have to sue us if you want anything. And we're going to be pretty litigious about this. We're going to fight you tooth and nail over this one. So it's probably not worth the $200,000 because we're going to run you through the court system as much as possible. So, not knowing what to do, a YouTuber, Reckless Ben, ends up getting involved in the whole thing. Reckless Ben, I'm familiar with some of his works. He's infiltrated cults before. He's done an expose on the Scientology religion. And he has a thing about there's the McKinley Manor, I think it is, or the something Manor. It's supposed to be the scariest haunted house in the world, which turns out it's just a complete scam. He's got all these kind of journalistic, kind of shock jock type of content. Well, he decides to take on this Bricks Minifigs situation and see if he can help this family and his 83-year-old father try and recoup some of this money. That's kind of the briefing. What did you guys get out of this story?
You can tell that the owners of Bricks Minifigs are like the definition of scum. I think that's that self is evident. They're also cowards. They have no they won't they will not even engage towards any kind of resolution, whether it be to their benefit, anyone's benefit at all. So being a coward, petty thief, and everything else, they're just kind of gross. I mean, I think that as a company, they're gross.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest takeaway. I think Reckless Ben himself. I mean, what was the guy that used to do the shows where he'd like go and investigate things, but he was also kind of like just I don't know
mischievous character kind of thing.
Yeah, what was it? It was like Jose What the hell's his name? He like he found that gangster's tomb and ended up being a bust and his name Jose Rivaldo.
Oh, Geraldo.
Geraldo.
Yeah, that's it.
We got
Rivera.
There. Geraldo
Rivera. Yeah, that's
it.
it.
Reminds me kind of that. Like
we should have known that.
Like he's very sensationalist. Like everything's like a big deal, and he's trying to be the investigator. So he kind of has that vibe to me in a way. Like he's just this modern YouTuber with that. But he does seem to have like he is trying to the things he wants to reveal are things that are kind of shady, kind of shitty. So at least he's picking the right targets for his benefit.
Antics, yeah.
And people can benefit from it. He's trying to do some genuine good by helping these people out too. But I don't know. I applaud the efforts, but we do have to keep in mind the whole time that he is making an amazing amount of money on the situation.
Oh, I'm sure.
Amazing. Sure. So like they were forming a GoFundMe to get that 200K back to us. I really have a feeling without looking into any of his financial things that I'm sure
he got it.
Find that he could throw this family 200K at any time. So if you had the ability to just do that, and if you feel so strongly that you should do that, you're making money off of basically their story. Why not just throw them the money rather than just take step after step after step after step? And I agree that they should be pursued. And if he wants to pursue the, suing them just to do the right thing to bring them to light, great. But in the meantime, you've got a family waiting for 200K that could probably use the money. So I that's a little bouncy for me. You know what I mean?
I could be wrong, but I think you might be slightly overestimating the amount this guy makes off of YouTube.
Oh, really?
And the reason I say that is this is the first, like he's done all these exposés and all these things, but there's been massive legal costs with everything that he's done. And he ends like, I think this is the biggest thing he's been involved in. Where I'm sure he could afford, he can afford the maybe like $40,000-$50,000 for travel and like some legal fees and some staff and all that. I'm not sure he could straight up afford that, but regardless, he was at the GoFundMe he set up was able to get I think it's at like $275,000 to get this family the money back. So but yeah, like if he could help, it would be better. But I also like, there is that journalistic integrity type thing where like, hey, I want to be involved with this. I want to tell a story. maybe is a little bit more involved than most journalists would be, because I think his We Steal from Old People corporation he made with the tagline "Bricks and Minifigs" in
Yeah.
huge bold letters is a little
And,
much.
and like and like I said, it's the journalistic part of it. I really have a lot of respect for. But as soon as you add profit to journalism,
Yeah,
then you can't trust the integrity of the journalism. I mean, I think that is kind of a default to me. But I mean, I think he's doing the right thing. I think he's
Yeah.
got the right intent. But there's definitely a you know, I always question anytime you add profit to anything that shouldn't have that other than a sustainability profit. You need sustainability profit, but straight profit, I start questioning it because
yeah,
people are always willing to tweak things for that couple more dollars.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I
He's
mean?
even he's definitely in it for the long haul because he's been arrested and sat in jail a couple times. So regardless if he gets out of those charges or not, those are legal fees he has to pay.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
So I mean,
And
yeah,
he
I mean,
wasn't alone in it either. I mean, there were other
right,
YouTubers
yeah,
and personalities that were, taking part in this as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
They
and
and they're probably all
I did just glance at his net worth, and you're right. He's worth $1 million or $2. So that's 200% either 20 or 10% of his income. So I mean I don't know, that's 20 or 10% of his income. So that's a significant chunk of money for him to field out with a net worth like that, depending on what's liquid and what's solid. But
true.
yeah.
but at the same time, like I said, I think that there could have been quick ways to get those people their money, and
Yeah.
even the GoFundMe works, but the
Yeah. He
it's
definitely dragged it on a little bit longer than it could have been. If he started a GoFundMe and made the videos sooner, maybe. But I wonder if it would have been as big of a deal if he didn't spend all this time making the videos. And man,
oh no,
the
the
time and
accountability aspect of it, you're right,
yeah.
absolutely. He's doing. I would love because I would love to see these people raked over the coals.
Oh, everybody would, I
They're
think.
just the worst kind of human to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just greedy, awful people. And
That's
to that aspect, I applauded 100%. But I just the whole time the empathy part of me is going. There's these people that have just lost on this thing that it was probably a very like of something they were really hoping for. Something that was going
Yeah.
to that amount of money is life changing. That it for people in the middle class or lower middle class or
Yeah.
wherever those people fall. That's 200 grand is life changing to most Americans. And
yeah.
and it's a shame to see that it turn into that, especially when it's an investment of time and energy and creativity. There's a lot more that went into this than money.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so I think I love to see what he's doing to expose them, and I like when he gets a little petty about it and puts that
Puts
sign
that
up
sign
there.
up across his yard.
Put a
Across
Star
his
letter
yard.
right on their sweater. I don't give a shit. That's ridiculous.
I do
They're
agree with you that if he didn't go through all this stuff to begin with, the GoFundMe may not have made much money. I mean, he tried the lawsuits first and they got turned down. No, you have to make a good faith effort to try to get them to pay because they won the lawsuit. This is like an additional lawsuit they're trying to get these people to pay.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. What they ended up doing is the person who owned all these figurines, these Star Wars Legos, Reckless Ben had took out a bunch of credit cards or whatever, just short term loans or whatnot, for $10,000 for each of his friends, and so each of his friends gave this guy $10,000 for these Legos to purchase, and then they had to collect them. Well, they couldn't collect them from Bricks and Minifigs, so they ended up doing small claims court against Bricks and Minifigs. They ended up getting a summary judgment because they didn't show up. They didn't show up to the court case. And
yeah,
what they did is after they won that court case, they shut that franchise down when they went to collect on that money. And the whole kind of scheme there didn't work, but it's interesting to see all these different schemes that he comes up with, and it's hilarious. He in other videos, Reckless Ben, he tries to take over a cult's restaurant that they own, because they run this restaurant off of slave labor, but the way they get away with it is everybody's a percent stake owner. And so what he did is he had all of his friends go in there and work there. And then after, working there, the verbal agreement is that you're a percent stake owner. And so the majority makes the decision. So he had the majority vote that the current staff and employees get fired. It was just a whole scheme, and the police got involved in that too. He makes a big mockery of this stuff, but it's interesting. I see him going through a path of social justice where it's like, this stuff can't be allowed to go on. Like some of this stuff is just, it's manipulative, it's awful. So he's just kind of a good guy going against the against different machines. Is what I see in this guy.
I applaud his meticulous attention to making sure that he is doing things as you're supposed to do. And yes, he's run into some pretty egregious reaction to that, which is just odd to me. But but he is doing his best to do it the right way, and I have to applaud that too. I mean, I have a short fuse when it comes to that stuff. When I'm not getting what like, I know the difference between right and wrong, and when I'm faced with I can't get to that right, and someone's giving me 400 pages of red tape in front of it, I'm just gonna get in a punching mood.
Yeah. I'm like, when do we start burning it all down?
When do the torches come out? Because I'm getting torched. I'm getting kind of chilly over here, and I'm gonna need a torch. So I'm just like, so it's difficult for me. So I really applaud the patience and the calm.
Yeah,
that he is, like, in the face of a lot of stuff that was just out there. He's remaining calm, and
yeah, he really is.
And that's a strong will. I mean, that's a very strong will. It's stronger than mine when it comes to that kind of thing. I would not be calm. I would not be quiet, and I just have a lot of respect for him for that.
Absolutely, so. Yeah. No, I've liked the content he's put out so far. I'm glad that the victims of this scam, are getting their money back. And man, I can only imagine, like, if my Magic the Gathering collection, if for whatever reason, we're fast forward whatever amount of time, I'm in a nursing home, and Laura puts it on consignment in a local card shop, and they. It just disappears. Poof, it's gone. It's like I've spent considerable amount of time working into building that, and it's all just gone. I would be so devastated. Like, it's just insane. And I think any true collector can really understand that. So yeah, Bricks and Minifigs isn't going to lose, kids coming to their store, but I think, people who understand what the value of their money is and understands what it is to collect, I think they've lost a whole lot of business, and I don't think that brand's ever going to recover truly after this whole thing happened. And I hope not. Yeah, I hope the worst for them.
I hope that horrible things happen to all of them. I'm not a nice person when it comes to that. I think that's a form of evil. It isn't bad. It's a form of evil, and I think that it should be routed. I think we should route it at the root and make sure that it can't happen. They should all be neutered, and so they can't breed more of them.
And it's kind of an example of people shrouding themselves in their faith too, as like a protection. Like the one owner is like, I swear to God, and he's supposed to be this devout Mormon, that he would make sure to do the right thing. And it's like, no, it just feels like a whole racket over there. But
I don't understand if someone is like accusing you of something as egregious as this, they're coming at you, and you don't even have the courage to defend yourself. That alone speaks volumes on, and you know you've done wrong.
Yeah,
you sent someone from the Mormon Church to talk to them about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone answer the door for him.
Yeah, nope. And I would like to see like something larger than small town USA. Law enforcement handling it. I'd like to see someone stepping in from, because this happened in different states. This happened.
This could be a federal issue.
Yeah, so I'd love to see something federal involved in something like this. Like, hey, this can't be in one jurisdiction or another. So send a marshal. Send something along that line. Send something that's has a little clout and is not as it doesn't have any local bias or any other kind of bias, and have a nice, clean handling of the situation.
I think the
But
problem with that, it is all just a civil matter. There isn't anything criminal going on, at least not yet.
yeah, as far as I'm concerned, taking somebody's belongings and not giving them money or the belongings
Yeah.
should never be a civil matter. I mean, I know it can be. I've seen it happen.
No, I mean, it mostly is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a shame that in the modern world, which I'm mostly okay with the modern world, in the ways we've evolved and the ways we have become bigger and better people for the most part. But there are some things that are just like, if it's a civil matter, then let me handle it civilly. Don't have judges and everything else be the only solution. I have to take it to court to handle a civil matter. It's a civil matter. I'm going to knock on his door, and I'm leaving with my stuff, or I'm leaving with the money for my stuff. And that's really as simple as that. And I don't understand why that's so frowned upon. So I mean, like, it's my item, it's my belonging, and I'm going to go get it.
In this
And-
situation, I think it's the owners of Bricks and Minifigs. They know they're in the wrong, and they figure if they just ignore it, maybe it'll just go away.
Well, and they ignore it, or be able to finance maintaining the correct way to handle a civil litigation by just emptying the other person's bank account. This is how the bigger guy with the bigger money and the bigger lawyers crushes the little guy in civil situations, because the civil person does not have the resource to truly defend themselves. And that's why I hate the idea that you really don't have any power if you don't have the same financial backing as your
Opponent in court or whatever.
opponent. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's gross to me. It's gross, and I have in my life gotten in a lot of trouble because I just don't accept that as a reality. I just don't accept it as a reality, and it's a struggle for me. It's a real struggle for me.
Because really, where would these people be if reckless spending get involved?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they won the lawsuit, but the people still aren't paying them. So
Right.
that was the second. I mean, to go and sue them again, which you shouldn't have to do that. Like,
No.
you won. Hey, we took out in court. The judge ruled. Pay them the money.
Yep.
There's no reason this is continuing.
Mm-mm. And why is it different in this case? Like, when say I don't pay a bill, and I get sued, and I just ignore it, they'll still come after me. They'll attach my
Sure,
wages.
they'll garnish your wages and
They'll
everything.
garnish your wages. So
Yep.
what
Yeah.
the fuck? like why is it
That's right.
like why is it not the same thing? Why don't they attach the company's earnings? There's so many ways to handle it, and it's because everything is for for profit, and if it's not benefiting anyone else, then they don't really care about you.
And to be honest, that might be something that ends up happening. Is yes, they won the lawsuit. Yes, they're not paying. The courts may garnish their wages at some point. They just
Good.
we don't know if they are or have.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because I should know this, but you guys probably will. The lawsuit was not against the individual; it was against the company.
That's correct.
So
Right.
so corporation is a legal entity. So you can't attach the wages of the people. You have to attach the wages of the the company, and the company doesn't necessarily have wages. It has profit margins. So there would have to be some kind of mechanism to attach to that, and that might be the part where the system's broken. I'm not sure how that works.
And that's why the
but
second lawsuit, they're actually going after the individuals this time.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man. Well, there's a whole lot in me rooting for Reckless Bet on this one. I recommend, like, if you have some free time, if you're doing dishes or whatever and want something interesting to put on, check out some of the videos where he and his friends infiltrate a cult. There's some crazy stuff out there. He does some interesting work. It's it is a little bit kind of gonzo journalism or whatever, but it's interesting, and
I appreciate the target. I appreciated his choice of targets. And like I said, everybody, when it comes, money to me is or profit is always a scary thing to me. I've mentioned it several times here, but at the same time, if you're going to do it, and you do the right cause. It's kind of like Heroes for Hire. It's kind of like being, as much as I like Luke Cage and Iron Fist, the fact that you had to pay them to be the hero, it's kind of like, but at least they're heroes. At least they're not getting paid to be bad guys. So you pick your battles, kind of thing. And like I said, he is good. I mean, he's entertaining to watch. He's doing it for good reasons. So it's that is a lot of dog, Wayne. A lot of dog.
That is a whole lot of dog.
The
I love that Mariah Bane's like, oh, I got my dog, or I'm like, I got my cat, and Wayne's like, oh, I got my little baby too. Aww.
Ellie.
I'm pretty sure that dog's tongue is bigger than my dog.
Oh my, what a baby.
Oh, good baby. You're a good girl.
All right,
Got a
guys.
bath, though.
Well, do we have anything else on some of these retro creative toys? Any of that stuff?
I kind of want to go on eBay and get creepy crawlers.
You know what, Wayne? We'll have to plan a Saturday where we get together and we play with some creepy crawlers. I think that would be a fun
I'll
time.
be on eBay after this.
We get the whole Nerd Pow Wow over. We can
There you go.
we
I
can
like
film
that
a video
idea.
for that. That sounds great, actually.
What we need to do, though, is see if that we can retrofit it to do it with gummy material, so then we can actually eat them afterwards.
Or
Make
easy bake
gummy-
oven.
Eat gummy. Oh, well, if one real quick thing with the easy bake oven, and I'm gonna throw my sister under the bus so hard with this. So one day, my sister was in with the easy bake ovens, and there was this like smell of like burning plastic, and we're like, "What the hell?" We go back down the hallway to her room, and she has torn the limbs off of a baby doll, head, arms, and legs, and has put it. It is cooking the torso of a baby doll.
Oh my
Plastic
gosh.
torso. And so initially that's mortifying, right? And then she doesn't understand why it's scary. She's like, it's a chicken. So if you take the arms and legs and head off of those old school plastic baby dolls, and you look at the profile, it does kind of resemble a chicken. And her little kid brain saw that, and she was just using the new shape and cooking chickens in there. But for a moment, she had gone full cannibal, as far as I'm concerned, cooking babies in the easy bake oven. But
She's so nice too.
oh, yeah, this little innocent kid, just like, they're chickens. Like,
It's all the nice. It's always the nice ones.
always the nice ones. I've never made a mean cannibal in my life.
No. Hopefully, I've never met a
Also
cannibal.
never met a cannibal, but that's besides the point.
Well, you don't know if you've met a cannibal or not.
Right.
It's not something we they advertise.
That's
Right,
fair.
true.
That's fair. Good stuff, guys. Well,
All
I
right,
have a streamer here whose profile picture, their character image of their stream is a Furby. So I think we're gonna try and raid this channel over here, and we'll meet you over at Raven Nemours Twitch channel. So we're
All
gonna
right,
go ahead
can't
and
wait
get
to
this.
see this Furby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We're gonna have to get this raid.
I wish I could still make the sounds of those things. These are creepy.
Doma Ate. I remember that one specifically. Those things are creepy. Absolutely, absolutely. They're the absolute worst. Nightmare fuel.
I like when you like move a box in the attic and there's a long abandoned one of those things and it starts making some kind of
Oh,
sound.
yeah, the batteries last forever in those things.
Not good. Not good.
You should have died by now.
Oh, we got to talk about evil possessed toys. I already used my alien story, but we'll have to see if there's any more possessed toys in the Nerd Pow Wow.
Oh, Furbies.
Possessed
Furbies
toys,
right up
possessed
top, right
game.
there.
I've got a good story about a possessed game.
Remind me to
Video
talk
game.
about what a Furby looks like when you take the fur off of it.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
peel the
creepy
skin back.
shit too.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's
Is it
awful.
like a Sphinx cat?
Yeah, but it's definitely worse than a Sphinx cat. It's awful. It's
Oh,
truly nightmare fuel. Yeah.
There's an artist who does sculptures of like comic book characters and everything, all different kinds of cartoons, and does cutaways of what their internals would be like in that body shape, like
Oh,
Mickey
yeah,
Mouse.
that's
Or
great.
It's really neat. It's really like he tries to like he or she. I don't remember if it's a guy or a girl, but they try to make this like realistic anatomy inside the cutaway. It's interesting. It's really pretty
Nice.
cool.
It's our voices with inside and watch how my adoring fans flock to me.